Let's do it.
And we're recording in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gents, to have a chat with Ray and Stat. I am Ray. That is Stat.
Good, mate. How are we?
Stato, we're having a chat.
Yeah, mate.
And we've got a special guest with us today.
The one and only, the Reeve-a-thon.
Adam Reeve.
Good to be here, guys.
Mate, thanks for coming on.
I don't want to say thank you because I don't like you.
But I love you, so I'm glad you're here.
I know.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm really here for Stat.
Yeah,
Thanks, bro.
pretty much. That's pretty much why the viewers are here as well. Let's be honest.
That's true, preach. That's
Mate,
the best thing you've said in about 19 episodes.
You know how scared I am to put up a poll. Who do you prefer, Ray or Stat? Because I just know it's going to be 100% Stat, 0 Ray.
Yeah,
Well,
you
take
lose.
Stat out of the podcast. You don't have one anymore.
Yeah, but that's true. That's true. But then it's called Have a Chat with Ray and it just doesn't work.
And Adam.
That's good.
Ah, it's
No,
the
it doesn't work.
I like it. He said it. He said it on me. You said it on me. I'm
Bro,
good.
it's
I'm good with
the
that.
First time someone's trying to kick you off and not me. Maybe
know,
I should
bro.
like him, bro.
You should. You don't appreciate him.
I
I'm
don't
really
like
for
him,
you.
bro.
I'm really for you.
I'm sorry, bro. I just don't. I've tried to like you over the years and it just hasn't worked out. I don't know what to say other than that. Well, welcome, ladies and
I'm
gents.
happy he's here. I'm happy you're here, mate.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good to
happy
have you,
here.
bro. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Ladies and gents, welcome. We're just going to have a chat, see what's going on. We're filming this one early, bro.
Yeah, it's an early one.
A week
Because
before.
you spilled the beans on the last one. So you forget who we're having on?
That's
You said
right.
Thursday, and I noticed
That's
that
right.
mate, unprofessional from your end again.
Okay,
I
pretty
feel like I call him out. Everything unprofessional he does, I'm calling him out for.
correct, but pretty unprofessional that you forgot who we were having on the chat.
Yeah, it's true. That's actually my bad. So you know what? We both stuffed up.
Yeah, well,
I'll take fault.
it's Thursday night,
Yeah.
but this is coming out Tuesday morning.
Yep.
So a lot's happened over the weekend that we don't know about.
So yeah.
Future Ray and Stat are going to have a field day with that.
See how that goes down.
But hey, is what it is.
Why not, mate?
We'll see what happens.
Why not?
Adam, what's going on with you, mate?
Oh, mate. Work. Work. Work.
Okay, I've got to stop right there. Just
Okay.
because I've got to get this understanding. Because I'm again biggest fan, right? So I gotta find this freedom that you have with work because you seem to be out and about a lot in terms of like mission trips and all that. How is it you get all your work done and you spend a lot of time on the mission field? That's something I can't wrap my head around.
And
it's fantastic, by the way. I'm
and-
not having a dig. I'm actually like,
and his job's
applauding.
not like something small.
Mate,
He's a lawyer.
congrats, by the way.
Congratulations,
Mate.
buddy. We've got a real lawyer in our midst, guys. Any legal questions, send them through to have a chat.
Yeah, if you want to get us later on, use him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be inundated now.
So anyway, how are you constantly moving around?
I sometimes ask myself that question too.
Mate,
What does
How
your
do we
boss
do
say to you?
this?
What does your boss say to you?
Well, every time I ask for leave, he just tells me no. And then we find another way around it.
what a king.
No, but my boss has been really great. He's been pretty accommodating. And most of my work, in fact, all of my work now is online.
Yeah.
So it hasn't really made a difference. But, you know, despite I heard your other comments that you sent to me
Last week.
Oh, yes,
last
yes.
week's episode.
Yes, yes.
So I have had a chance to reflect and review and think
He's treating this like it's a legal
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
and prepare
The guy's sweating.
my submissions to defend myself in this court. In this.
Very good, very good, very good.
And I crunched the numbers, and I've only taken 3 weeks of leave since the pandemic started.
3 weeks
3
of
weeks
paid
of
leave. Paid leave, because the rest of it
Mate,
was
you're
all on the dodgy.
Unpaid.
Mate, you're a soldier.
And the rest has just been on working on the road.
That's beautiful.
So they're letting you work in regional areas, no issue?
Well, since the last lockdown, we couldn't really go into the office anyway.
Yeah.
But I would much prefer to be in the office myself. So it does pain me when as much as I enjoy going away, I would much prefer to be in the office. But at the moment, the last 3-4 months, we can't go into the office. So it was the perfect opportunity.
Fair
and
enough.
bro, you could not plan it any better.
I swear-
When we jetted out of here, they locked the place down about, a week or two later?
Bro, this guy spent 3/4 of the lockdown not locked down in regional New South Wales.
I was so jealous, bro.
He's living the dream. He's telling us, he goes, bro, I've been going to church every week, been loving life. We go out for dinner.
Yeah, like what are masks? What's this stuff? Like, you guys sucked in, you guys in lockdown.
And
Mate,
And
good on ya.
I thought to myself, I go, you know what? For once, he finally beat us. Like, he has a reason, you know?
Mate.
And then, God being the great God he is, locked him down too.
Mate, they got
So
ya.
when was that? How far into the trip?
when they finally caught up with me.
Yeah.
Like
you're a serial killer.
Like he's getting chased.
Like he's a serial killer.
I must say,
On the
I
loose.
think a day or two after I got locked down, Ray, we had a long conversation about life and
Yeah.
things that were going on at that point in
Good
time.
quality D&M.
And like you do with so many people.
That's the D&M king, not me.
Really?
Man, yeah, but I've taken
Yeah.
a step back in recent times.
Yeah, well, he's a busy man too.
That's
So
it, bro. Thank you.
It's a fair point.
anyway, so we're having this conversation, and there were a lot of things going on in your life at that point in time that you could have been excited about. But you were
Yes.
most excited about this one thing.
Yeah.
And that was that the lockdown finally caught me out.
Right, that poor
And
bloke.
He was cheering and so many things are going, like, we're just
So
falling into place
basically,
for him.
so
at this point in
basically,
time.
my court case from the car accident finally come to an end.
Mm.
So I should have been celebrating like crazy about that. God has been good. It's finally done. 2.5 years are finally put in the bank. But it was like God said, you know what? I'm going to give you something else just to put the icing on the cake. He put him in lockdown, bro.
I was
sad.
very upset when you got into lockdown. I was gutted. Can I tell you why? Because you were telling me your stories of how like you were in Brisbane and then they were locking this part down, so you quickly jetted back to Sydney. Then they're locking that part down, so you jetted off again.
Sounds about right.
Man, honestly, it was like a prison break issue. I'm thinking, man, this is a full prison break
They
series.
made a TV show out of this.
100%. And I was like, mate, and then I found they got locked down. Okay, it doesn't matter. You won, but you won for the majority. Oh, they just got they got the last laugh. Doesn't matter, mate. You had a field day.
So how long were you locked down for the entire time?
Oh, well, I've been locked down here in Sydney with all you guys.
Yeah, mate.
How long? 2-3 weeks?
No, I came back the week before my brother's wedding. So it was probably a month. So you guys did the heavy lifting, and then I came back just as things were
The guy comes
Like
in.
we're on the same team or something.
The goat comes in and just ices all up for us. So okay, so on that, your brother's wedding. So if you didn't have to come back for John's wedding, you would have stayed there the whole time.
I'd probably still be there now. Probably
This is
back in Queensland.
JP, mate, you're trouble.
Love him.
Wait, he's a troublemaker.
Trouble, but he helped us out. He got him in lockdown. Listen, you're my best friend now.
Yeah, so I think there you go. So I love Adam, you love JP, and I love JP. I love JP. Very happy when we got married, by the way.
But nah, man, it's crazy how much you got to get around during that. That was insane.
That was the best.
It was a trip
because
out.
you hear about it, and every week he's just so happy, and I'm sitting at my end like for Elevate, like man, just another week.
I'm seeing his
Whatever.
Instagram posts. He's out on some sort of cliff face with the boys. I'm just like, what is this life this guy lives?
Mate, listen, definitely jealous. Definitely jealous.
100%.
I just want to say the timing was impeccable, like I said before. So I had gone to church the Wednesday night,
Okay.
and that was the last time I saw you guys prior to tonight.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It was a long
It's
time.
been months, but 4 months.
This was like mid-June.
Far out.
And so that day, I had pretty much just given up on the plans to go to Queensland because I remember Word for the West?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. One of the best things one of the best ministries you can go on.
Right.
You got
How
Pastor
good was it
Phil,
when we went?
Luke,
Yeah.
Jim Heberley.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of a spill of what they do up there.
Yeah, so Pastor Phil and Jim, usually every year we'll get together and they've got a big map of Queensland and they'll go to different parts of Queensland and, spend a week there, set up camp, similar to what you guys did, and then just go and saturate the towns with, New Testaments, John and Romans.
It's a quality time.
It's just phenomenal. But it feels like a family camp because you've got so many Christians there and you do your witnessing, but then you've also got that time where you can just fellowship and hang out with people, and there's some fantastic people that come along on those events. So,
So you
but
ended
I
up
thought,
sacking that.
because things was starting to head downhill here, and I pretty much just gave up. I was like, there's no way we're going to get into Queensland. I've still got another 3 or 4 days of work to go. And so I went to church that night, and I think maybe it was that evening, but it was one of those times where I was told that I was supposed to speak for Elevate and had only been given a couple hours notice. I'm really stressing out. And then the Premier of Queensland basically said, if you're in Sydney after tonight, you won't be able to come to Queensland. So I was like, she's finally beat me. I got so excited about this event. I'm just going to, I just went to my room to finish preparing my message at about 6 o'clock that night. Was, probably an hour and a half before Elevate started.
Yep.
Anyway, I was like, game over. How am I even going to preach tonight? And then my sister comes in and she goes, we can still make it. We're leaving Sydney tonight. And I was like, nah, you're crazy. And she was like, no, we're going to do it. And I go,
No way.
let's do it.
What is this family, bro?
That's mad. That's
She
what a
saved
G
the-
up.
She saved the trip and 2 months of lockdown. I'm ever grateful to.
So she just goes, "Let's go right now." You get home and it's just like,
So I came to church that night.
Yeah.
Spoke and Elevate.
yeah.
Got home, packed my bags, and little did I know I was gone for 2 months.
You drove to Queensland.
Huh?
You drove to
Oh,
Queensland.
we drove to Tamworth and then onwards to Queensland. Yeah.
Mate, that is
Yeah.
What is
that's
your life?
brilliant.
That is the most like.
It was the
And
best
work was
decision I
cool
made.
with it
Yeah. Well, I was.
because you had a couple of days
They
left to work.
like 2 days after that, they pretty much said you can't come to the office anymore.
Wow.
So the work was on the road,
Mate.
and then so we went
Mate.
to Toowoomba, then to Longreach, then to Bundaberg for 3 weeks, and then came back down for a wedding in Coffs Harbour and went over to Tamworth. And the man who got me on this show, Brock,
Yep.
He-
Shout
he-
out to Brock. That's from
Oh,
our
legend.
That's from our poll day, bro.
Yes. Yes. Not like the name still, but yes.
Hashtag poll day. Thanks, ladies and
that
gents.
guy that drops into Elevate.
Oh, yeah,
in a couple
yeah.
Weeks.
Love
Yeah.
Brock.
Oh yeah, yep.
Well, I know Brock. Where's your
Okay,
birthday?
sorry.
Where's
Oh,
your
that's right.
birthday? We met
That's
Brock
right.
there.
That,
Absolute
okay.
legend.
I love Brock
But
Lesnar.
that's a story in itself. We get
Oh.
to Adam's birthday. We see this bloke, Brock. Never met him before. How you doing, man? Adam comes up to me, goes, "Oh yeah, he's from Tamworth. Oh yeah, nice. What are you doing in Sydney? When'd you get here? Oh, I got here a couple of hours ago. What do you mean? Oh, I just flew in. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I was meant to drive up this morning, but I overslept. So I woke up, I booked a plane ticket.
Came for what? Came for his birthday.
He came for this guy's birthday. I won't drive 20 minutes down the road for this guy's birthday. This guy comes from Tamworth on a plane.
He's a soldier.
Mate, machine. And then he went back the next day.
Brock Lesnar, mate. The one and
Big
only.
Brock.
What a machine.
There are very few that are better.
Yeah, you're definitely not one of them.
Nah, poor bloke. Leave the guy alone.
I'm just trying to, yeah, shout out. Thanks, Brock.
Yeah, that's it.
he did a lot for me when I was in Tamworth.
He's a
Yeah.
champion.
And when we got locked down, it was like, the feelings of despair that, that come over us all when, you get a bit the news lockdown and people hyping it up and everyone's no one sent me messages saying, oh, bro, feeling for you. Everyone was like, yeah, you got caught.
Poor bloke.
This is not Christian love.
Listen, listen. When I heard regional New South Wales was getting shut down, I looked at it and I had a party. I was like, yes, I can't wait to message him and just
Mate,
abuse him.
that made me very sad, bro. It made me very, very sad.
It would have been the saddest time of my life were it not for Brock and his family and a couple of other people there in Tamworth.
So did you stay at Brock's?
So he moved out of his mum's place, but she has like a little granny flat downstairs.
Okay.
And so she said that I could stay there, and because I was there, Brock moved back in with his mum.
What a life.
Yeah, so
Get the family back together.
We
Get
just
back
had
together,
a
eh?
fantastic time. We would literally I'd work, he'd work throughout the day. We had a couple Bible college classes as well sprinkled throughout there, and then we'd go down to the field, we'd kick the footy,
That's
and
beautiful.
end up fracturing some ribs down there as well. That's
Did
another
ya?
story. Yeah.
Oh.
No way.
Nothing to do with Brock. My own recklessness.
You tripped over, didn't you?
Yeah.
How did you trip over and break your ribs?
Never mind. Moving on. Then we would go to either Taco Bell, which just opened, or we would go to Woolies and we would get these Vegemite cheese scrolls. The best things you will ever taste in your entire life.
That's interesting. Have you heard Domino's is doing a cheese and Vegemite pizza?
No way.
Bro, I'm ready for this thing.
I'm going to be there.
Bro,
This is the happiest I've ever seen you in my whole life.
I swear. But this guy isn't for it, hates
I
Vegemite.
hate Vegemite. Not a fan.
Bro, we gotta do
In
a pizza.
moderation, it's okay.
Okay, fair enough. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'll give you that.
We gotta do a
But
pizza,
that's-
bro.
These cheese scrolls from Woolies with a bit of Vegemite in them, it's the moderate kind of Vegemite. It's amazing. And we would just go there and we would eat that. We'd buy we loved them so much. Brock even, once I left, sent me an express post parcel with a cheesy Vegemite scroll in it.
No, he did it.
This guy,
And a card in there saying, this
He might be the greatest person I know. By far.
these people are a different breed, eh? They're not like us.
No, they don't like us, bro. Like, we're us are extra, but mate,
yeah, but
this Brock is
we're just
he's
like-
a champion.
We're mean. That's like a very nice thing to do for someone.
I would not send anything express post to anyone.
I lived in Newcastle for 2 years. I didn't get one package.
Because you got 4 visits from me, bro. Get out of my face.
4 visits in a year.
Was it 2 years?
Oh yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
4
Cuz, mate, thank God, bro. You should be thanking God for that. He just came down to visit.
Cousin, you spend more time in my place now than you do at your own.
It's true. Sure, it's because of the studio. But mate, Adam, I gotta say, this whole like adventure thing of yours is out of control. But look, I don't. I'm gonna have to bring this up. How'd you break your ribs? Because now I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, I wish I asked you. No. How'd you break your ribs? Because you brought it up. He says different story. Move on. I can't move on.
You're constantly making fun of me that I'm injury prone.
You are. That's a different story.
Listen, I'm not. Mine were extreme cases.
Because you tripped over in the gym and broke your leg. That's one extreme
I
case.
tripped up the steps and broke my leg that was already broken.
Doesn't help.
Have you ever heard of anyone tripping up the steps? It's always tripping down the steps.
Exactly.
But Ray...
You should find those in memes.
Yeah.
Like someone, like a random article, someone tripped up the stairs, broke their leg.
People trip up
He
the
never
steps.
ceases to amaze me.
Okay, but to break
But
their leg?
this was a true Ray moment in
I don't
my own
appreciate
life
that. I don't appreciate that.
where
Oh, this is good.
I had left my footy
I think
boots
it's
at
going to
home.
be called Adam had a Ray moment.
Like,
Yeah.
almost as serious.
I left my footy boots at home, so I didn't have them on the trip. So 2 months without the footy boots.
Okay.
So I'm down at the park. There had been some rain, I think, earlier during the day, and I had these sneakers on that I have on at the moment, and I go to launch one from about 50, and Brock and I are trying to clear. There's like a sight screen, cricket sight screen, up there at the main oval in Tamworth, and I go to launch one from about 50 and try and get it over the screen, and I put this left foot out, and it just took off,
Okay.
and I fell, and somehow. No, I didn't break the fall at all and landed on the side here. And I just remember, one, the pain on the side here, but also the air just was like when I hit the ground, the air just went out.
Sucked out.
I couldn't breathe
Dead
for about 20 seconds because there was no air in the lungs.
Far out.
But yeah,
Okay, so how long's the recovery process from there?
they said about 4 to 6 weeks, but I didn't actually seek medical treatment until I got back to Sydney
Fair.
because I was a bit concerned.
How long were you there?
That was a week before I came back to Sydney. But
Okay. That's
I didn't want to go to the hospital there and say I have breathing issues because
COVID, this, that, and there would have been a whole thing.
and my license still says Sydney, even though I'd been out of Sydney, etc.
Yeah, but couldn't you prove that you
Yeah,
were-
I could,
Yeah.
and Brock was willing to, and his mum was willing to vouch for me. But still, you don't want to panic people.
Yeah,
you know?
that's fair.
So I
Everyone
just
freaked
went through
out,
a
yeah.
couple days like this, and Mum was like, "I'm sending an ambulance to bring you home from Tamworth," and not really, but
you imagine
close
that?
enough.
Yeah.
And but she cares for me, which is a good thing.
It's good. Yeah.
It's nice when your mum
Yeah.
does.
And
That's a good story, but
yeah, and that's a story. I came back here, had some X-rays. The fracture was already starting to heal. So,
And you don't need to do surgery when you break a rib, eh?
no, there's really nothing
not
you
a
can
thing,
do
eh?
unless
They're
there's serious damage.
So for that, however long it was, 4 weeks or so, how hard is it to breathe? How painful is it? What's the go?
Breathing was fine after a couple of days. It's when someone would tell a joke.
oh
And you're like,
yeah.
please
If
don't
you're trying
make
to
me
comedians,
laugh.
mate,
Yeah.
you're finished.
Okay, so laughing's a problem. Eating?
Eating was okay. Like
Okay.
after the first week or two, things really settled down. But coughing really
Yeah.
hurt. And laughing was
Okay.
the real.
The big one, the one that people underestimate, sleeping.
Yeah, I just ended up sleeping a lot of the night on my right side to protect the left, and then I'd move on to my back. And
Okay,
then
what type of sleeper are you? Hold on, wait. Stomach sleeper, side sleeper, back sleeper, it's a thing. Apparently this is a big debate, like the pineapple on pizza thing.
Never heard of it more.
Never. Okay, well, let's figure it out. What's your, what type of sleeper?
I'll just move around.
So you're just
But I
all
would
over
never
the
go on
place?
my tummy.
Really?
Yeah, I can't sleep in my stomach. No way.
What do you sleep on?
Not
You're
my
a
stomach.
back sleeper,
Yeah,
eh?
bro.
I can't.
Okay, on my back.
You know, I can't sleep on my back whatsoever.
At all?
At all. Even if it's on the couch.
Why?
Bro, it's not comfortable for me. I'm a stomach sleeper.
Oh, man, I sleep in my back.
As in,
so
bro,
I can't sleep in my stomach.
stomach, flat down, arm under the pillow, and leg bent up.
Okay, it's very specific.
Yeah.
It's extremely specific. I sleep my back on my side.
But trust me, the people understand it. I can't do the back. It's either side or stomach. But stomach's where I go to.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I can't do the back at all. Do you sleep on your back?
Not for long.
Yeah,
but I will
it's-
do it. But if tummy is like the no-go because it feels like
Really?
it's pushing the air out of my lungs, yeah. I can do it for a couple of seconds.
No, but it's the preference thing. It's very interesting because I can't sleep on my back, bro.
At all?
At all.
Nah, man, I sleep on my back. No problem. No problem.
That's probably why you snore so much.
Yeah, I'm finished. But it's all right. I
Oh,
love
you
it.
got a tough spine.
Yeah, mate. Mine's rock solid.
Listen, I scream at night, so no one wants to be.
Yeah, you're a psycho.
I'm a
You're
psycho.
Yeah, you're a psychopath.
I didn't even realize it until the boys told me.
Yeah,
we went on a weekend away.
Yeah.
And they go, bro, we're hearing screaming from your room. Are you all right? I go, I'm fine. What are you talking about? They go, you were screaming all night. I go, no, just had a nightmare. They go, okay, well, we heard it.
Very, like I feel like these nightmares are so continuous that it's like it's a big story for you. I think something happens every like 3 seconds, you just scream all the time.
Correct.
Yeah, look, you're probably gonna get that checked out.
You don't want to be in my head, bro. Trust me.
I don't want to. No. I don't want to be with you at all. But here we are. You know.
Here we are, and we're out of lockdown again.
I know, but listen. The happiest thing about me being out of lockdown, I got a haircut,
bro.
Absolutely
yes.
wrapped. And I've kept the mullet, by the way. Do you like Adam? I got to ask because I haven't asked you.
I think on every poll you put up, I always voted yes.
What a king, bro.
I
What a
voted
king.
yes this time too, bro.
What a king. Thank you. Love it. Love, mate. I got to say, I got it cut.
Show it to the people. Turn your head.
Guys, this is very. Like,
bro, that is full on. That's full on.
I'm growing it all summer. I decided.
So you made the commitment.
Yeah, I made the commitment.
You signed the contract.
Signed the contract. Told me ministry later. Look, I probably won't be singing for the next few months on stage. That wasn't a fun conversation. Sorry, Ryan. But yeah, I want to go out for a couple months. Have a laugh. Why not? Give out weddings. I spoke to G because he's getting married in December. I spoke to him last night. I go, cuz, listen, FYI, keeping this mullet thing. He goes, mate, I love it. He goes, I didn't care. He goes, keep it, grow it, do it if you want. Very exciting.
Brilliant.
I was wrapped. I get to my barber, bro. 9 a.m.
Because that's
wrapped.
the thing, bro.
Sad.
He has faded it so well that it really accentuates the back.
Yeah.
So
It's immaculate.
Like you're looking straight at me. I can see it perfectly.
Yeah, it's phantasmagorical.
That's full on.
I love it.
Listen, it's grown on me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Coming
Like it's grown on you.
Yeah.
It's grown on me, bro.
Very good. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine you without it now.
I said, I gotta keep it for life. Now. But yeah, man, I'm loving it. I come home, wrapped. I can't explain it. I'm so happy. Mate, we're out of lockdown. Just got a haircut. What a life. I was the first one at the barber. First one since he's open on the chair. Yeah, bro.
Oh, wow.
Mate, what an honour. So I get home. My mom calls me. She goes, by the way, you've taken a bit of a long time. I go, yeah, just a couple of years or whatever. I go, but I'm on the way. And she goes, hey, like, it's good. You finally got a haircut. I go, mate, get a load of this one. Get ready. My ma, she was like, look, I don't. She goes, if you get something stupid, I'm gonna kill you. So I go home, pull up. Luckily, my sister was there as well, which was nice. I'm like, even better. So 2 on 1. Here we go.
You ripped the band-aid right off.
Mate, I was just there like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I walk in. I'm ecstatic. Yeah, what up, ma? And she goes, don't look at me ever again. I never want to see you. You make me sick. And Joanne goes, have you lost your mind? And it was wonderful. And I sat there in the mirror and I'm like, mate, this is beautiful. So yeah, I'm so happy. I'm wrapped.
You know what?
I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. I love it.
I'm happy for you, bro.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
If you shave it off, everyone's going to be, Stat, what did you do?
You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro.
And I put up a poll on my Insta. Like, you voted.
We put up a poll this week too. Ladies and gents loved it.
Yeah, it was half-half. That was like,
still up there.
I think it's come off, but I think it was half-half. I think people were like 50-50 on keeping it, cutting my hair. Yeah, so when I put up
the results.
Yeah, I put a poll up on my personal Insta. Mate, it started off shockers. It started like 7, 8 people were like straight away on the negative. I go, oh, this is going to be disastrous for me. Mate, check back like 8, 9 hours later. Because I'm not going to sit there every 5 seconds. I don't care. I put it up, people like it, they don't, I don't care. And when I jump on later, mate, the numbers that it stopped at like 9, 10 for a second. It was like 30 people after. Like, yes! Like, I'm keeping this forever. I'm so happy. I'm wrapped.
You know what else was a 50-50? And then it ended up going one way was the Mo suggestions, whether I do handlebars or curly. Curly ended up winning.
Curly won.
Yeah, curly ended up winning. So
good.
Looks like the people have chosen. Looks like I'm going curly Mo.
Yeah. I actually had to get my moustache trimmed because it was just too much.
Yeah, no, you got it.
I had to get it trimmed. It was about, mate, I feel my beard clean, faded, mullet, mate.
So speaking of, you're going to do November with us?
I had thought about it.
Yeah.
The guy that I would usually do it with at work has left. So I do need some...
So we've got a free agent.
A team to be a part of. But the thing is, everyone's so used to me with the beard now that if I shave it off... So what happened in Queensland, one of the saddest parts of the trip, apart from being outside of lockdown, was I was supposed to preach at Gospel Light, the church there in Bundaberg, one of the Sundays. And a couple days before, I was just trimming my beard. And I have one of those shavers that you can adjust between 1 and 5. And I was just going, and then all of a sudden it slipped, and I've got this ball patch right here.
That's
Anyway.
like
That's why I'm not a fan of those
Biggest-
things.
that's a dagger to the heart.
I honestly felt like finding a cave somewhere if there was one, and going full John the Baptist, going into the wilderness.
So what you end up doing?
I had to shave it all off.
No.
And so I come out. Well, what happened was I just got it to stubble, and I came out, and everyone started laughing already, and they're like, "It looks hideous. Shave it all off."
I've been there,
So I shaved it like,
And you
back,
went baby face.
and I went baby face, and everyone was laughing for
Yeah,
days
it's
and
way
days.
worse.
Yeah, and then the photos start circulating,
yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, I've been there.
It was a hard time.
I've
So-
been there. Let me
I'm
tell
very
you.
excited
I'm
for
not
him
sure.
to send me the photo so I can put that as the icon
No,
for the
no,
video.
don't send it, bro. Don't send it.
So I don't know if I'm going to do Movember for that reason.
Nah, do it. You have to. That's the best part about Movember is that it's a complete face change for the whole month. You know, like I've got the beard. I've had this for most of the year. The beard's coming off, the mo's coming out.
I'm doing handlebars.
You going to do it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you're
but
gonna
I'm
do
doing it with the
handlebars?
mullet.
You gotta do handlebars.
Yeah, I'm with the handlebars again. Last year was a big success with the handlebars.
I see.
So I'm gonna rock it again with the mullet.
Nah, see, I think you should do a CD like just straight mo with the mullet.
Hello, I'll suss it out.
Yeah,
Well, I'll start with the
but do you know
handlebars.
the one I'm talking about?
Yes,
it was
yes.
like the Justin Bieber look. You remember how he had that?
Yes, yes, correct.
Little seedy little.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You should do
I'm
that.
I'm gonna keep the handlebars and then I'll analyze.
What if we poll day it?
Good
All
point.
right, we're gonna do a poll day. Does he do handlebars or does he do the CD mode to match the mullet?
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And so you're gonna join the team?
Sure.
Done.
First
We've got another-
recruit.
Look at that.
First recruit.
I can't wait for it, bro.
We've got to chat
We
with the
should-
others
we
that
should
said they
re-
wanted to
We
join.
should
it.
recruit more people. Like,
Well, bro, we had about 4 or 5 people say they were in on the poll, so I'm gonna set it up this week. Set up to have a chat team. We'll get everyone on it, and yeah, we'll try.
fantastic cause. So we may as well.
Yeah, all for men's health, and we'll
Yeah.
try to raise some money. We'll raise awareness, and we'll take a photo. That's the
Yes.
thing I want to do this year.
Yeah, the
We
photos.
forgot to do it last year.
Did we?
Yes. No, like we did that one, but Jamie was part of the team too, and
That's
we
right,
went to
before
take
the
one
photo.
at the end of
That's
the
right.
month.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll get the whole group. We'll do a photo together. If you want, we'll do Mo sessions here. I'll shave everyone's faces, get their Mo's out.
We've got a head start. Like, how good is that?
Yeah,
You could almost have the photo on that day.
exactly. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, done, ladies and gents. You want to join us for Movember? Let's get on it. It's going to be good.
Ray will chuck up the link and all that once it's set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good cause to get part of.
Just chuck your name into that link, and then we'll know to get in contact with you. DM us, and we'll sort it out from there.
Sounds
It'll
good
be
to me. But mate, yeah, listen, I've been wrapped, mate.
It's been good. I've had a lot of fun this week so far. It's only been 3 days.
Yeah, it's been
I went to the
glorious.
movies.
Yes.
Brother, I
How
went
was
to
it?
the movies. Mate, it was glorious.
Movie good? You said it wasn't gonna be
Okay,
that
so
good.
I'll get into the movie a little bit later. I'll do a quick review for the people at home. Bro, the popcorn, man.
Where'd you go, Reedy?
Reading,
Yeah.
Rhodes. Peter's popcorn was rubbish, which for some reason, Haram, that guy,
He cops every time.
he cops it at every restaurant, every movie. I'm
Part of me thinks he deserves it.
shoveling in this popcorn, and it was glorious. Mountain Dew, because they're a Pepsi company. It was great, bro. Had a great time. Felt good to be back in that like comfort zone thing. But the one problem, bro, and I told the attendant at the cash register, they didn't have the boysenberry choc top.
So what'd you go with?
I was gutted.
Do you have no top top?
Absolutely gutted. Normally I do, but they just recently signed the contract with Connoisseur. So I got a Connoisseur cookies and cream ice cream.
Not bad.
Phenomenal.
Quite invested in this.
Mate,
isn't he?
it's sickness.
You obviously didn't see last week's episode, mate, because I went deep.
Mate, for like
He
34
knows who's
minutes.
signing contracts with. Most of the lawyers wouldn't even know that.
Guys, it's like we're talking about sport. Like this player's joining this team and this guy's recruited here. Like Pastor Hernan joined whichever Baptist is a big free agent. Like we're talking about the big stuff, you know? We're talking about the big stuff here. But this way he gets invested in his movies and that. Fair enough.
Yeah,
No,
wow.
listen, I love
Fair
the
enough.
business side of everything, bro. I get so intrigued and interested. Like, I watched the documentary on Bill Gates the other day just to see how he did Microsoft. I love that stuff, bro.
Not bad.
Anyway, the movie. So I watched a movie called Shang-Chi. It's a Marvel movie.
You said it was going to be rubbish.
I thought it was going to be horrendous. I thought this thing's not going to be good. Like, it just didn't look right. Trailer was not great. Whatever. Got into it, liked it, man. It was good. It's about this guy who's born into an ancient family.
Yep.
So his mum's got ancient history and powers. His dad's got these rings. So it's called Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. Or the secret of this. It's got rings somewhere. So his dad's got these powers. His mum's got these powers. And so he's born into this. but he's escaped. He's run away, and he lives in the States. And people are looking for him, and they kidnap him, take him back to China, and the story goes from there. It was a very cool, like old school kung fu movie. It had a lot of those elements, you know, training, fighting. The action scenes were awesome. Another level, really good. Like, I like hand-to-hand combat, and when I see it done right in a movie, it's really good, really well done. It just dragged a bit too long. It was too long a movie.
How long go for?
I think 2.5. Don't quote me on that though, but you were just like, hurry up, like let's go. Got a couple of cool cameos from the Avengers cast, and the last fight scene had a lot of CGI and dragons and this and that. I could have dealt with just a fight between him and the bad guy, but other than that, really good. I liked it. I give it a 6 out of 10. Decent enough.
Time, 2.5 hours.
It was just,
like,
bro,
You know what I mean?
You know, Jeremy's message time about 30 minutes. And that's perfect time for anything in life. 20, 30 minutes.
I like a good long movie.
Very good.
Yeah.
Listen, I like a good long movie. I love long movies, but when they drag like that and you're just sort of like, okay, hurry up, let's go. That's where it's just like, come on. But it was a decent installment by Marvel. It's setting up a couple of other things as well that they're gonna do. 6 out of 10, ladies and gents. Go see it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Ray, you're an idiot. You know what you're talking about. Or yeah, I agree with you. You know, more than likely the first one. Let's be honest. Though.
You know your movies. You know people hope so. So
You'll hope so.
Yes.
One thing that you know a lot about is NRL. I want to talk to you about Redcliffe.
yeah, yeah,
Did you hear about this?
I have.
Yeah.
yeah. So
From Stat.
of course, that's where people get the
He knows
news. That's where people get
everything.
the news. So yeah, so the NRL have approved for the 17th team to come from Brisbane, the Redcliffe Dolphins. Fantastic. It's very good for the north part of Brisbane. I think it's a very good idea because they needed to grow the game in Brisbane.
Very happy.
Very good because you got the Broncos in Brisbane, but then you got North Queensland, you got Gold Coast. Fair enough. To get a second team in Brisbane, and you just think about the rivalries they have with the Broncos and with Bennett going to be joining in as head coach.
As long as they're not called Brisbane though, I don't want them being the Brisbane Dolphins.
But this is the thing. So they have the stadium in Redcliffe, Morrison Stadium, but the problem is they've actually sacked the name Redcliffe out of the name Dolphins.
So they completely sacked.
Yeah, so they're now associated themselves as the Dolphins at this stage. I don't know if it's going to be like that for a while, but I don't like it. The reason that they've done that is because it represents more than Redcliffe. And they want to have every bit of Brisbane represented with the name. So by assigning it to just Redcliffe is not... I don't know. It's dumb. Like, you've got to be proud of where you've come from.
Yeah, what do they want to assign it to? Like,
They're thinking like North
Morton?
Brisbane. They're thinking Brisbane this, North Brisbane that. So like they've got like different names they want to come up with. But
I
let's just keep the
heard
Redcliffe Dolphins.
Morton today. I don't know if there's
Morton Dolphins.
That's
Yeah.
the region.
Yeah, because it's a region,
Yeah.
and that's where the stadium is.
Okay, so what if they did like the Dogs and went like Redcliffe Morton Dolphins?
Yeah,
Redcliffe's more of a suburb rather than a region.
Yeah,
It's,
fine.
but
So
you've
it
got
would be- it
Cronulla
would be the-
Sharks.
yeah,
But that's,
but it
that's
would be,
a
it would be the
region.
other way around then. It
Not
would be
really.
the Morton Redcliffe Dolphins.
I just don't see why they couldn't just kept the Redcliffe
I
Dolphins.
like Redcliffe. I think that's great.
I think it's good. They've been around for 60 odd years, so the inception is a
change
very
of
good
tradition?
time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, we had some great players come from there. You know, the great Arthur Beetson played there a bit as well. So they're going to do like, and there's already talks I've been hearing that 20. So we're talking about the seasons, right? We're talking about how we jammed for 2022. And the first game that's going to be for 2022 is looking to be Rabbitohs Broncos. You know, big because you know Adam Reynolds shifting from Rabbitohs to Broncos, big game against the whole club, a lot of dramas, right? So they want to do for 2023 is they want to kick off the year with Redcliffe versus Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah, I was that.
Yeah, so it's big talk about that. But in terms of the team coming in to the comp, I love it.
Big fan.
Huge fan. I think it's very good for the game. The only problem I'm going to have is when because they're now talking about an 18th team already, of where they're going to look.
They need it, right? Because in AFL, when they add teams, it's by 2, so it stays even.
Oh, so that
What are they
always
going
add
to
by
do
2.
with... Usually, there's not a rule that says that, but that just seems to be common sense, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to do it with 17?
So what they'll do, they'll keep it the same. So they'll keep it top 8 and then the bottom 9 miss out.
Right.
There'll be an extra 12 games throughout the year. So every team will get 2 buys as opposed to the one that they're getting now. They'll still play 24 games in the year, but the rounds will be 26 rounds as opposed to 25 with the 1 buy. It'll be 26 with 2 buys. So each club gets 2 buys. But the problem is what they're going to do is that in the next 5 to 10 years, obviously, or maybe the next 5 years, they're going to bring in a new team. Now, whether that's in New Zealand, whether that's in Perth, whether it's in Melbourne or Adelaide, wherever they look to go, I'm hoping it's not Brisbane again. For crying out loud, I just got one. I think if they go to the game in New Zealand, it would be phenomenal. But the problem I'm going to have is that they're going to look at potentially splitting it to conferences.
I don't like that.
And it makes me cringe. And the thought of it being in conferences, it's not right. Not that it's not right, I just don't see the appeal behind it.
Yeah.
So for now, like, it's exciting, as I said, to get Redcliffe in, a new team in Brisbane is very exciting. It adds a whole new dimension. And the big thing about it is Wayne Bennett will be coaching the club. It's just huge.
That is massive.
Huge. So he's signing a 3-year deal in the next few hours.
3 years.
Mate, the guy is 71. He's not coaching next year, so he'll probably be just doing a lot of work. And, okay, the most dangerous thing you can do is give Wayne Bennett a clean sheet of paper and say, build your team. He is 10 million in the salary cap, build your team. That is nightmare for every club.
You reckon they got a chance
16.
at the premiership in the first 3 years?
If they can build the team right, and it's Wayne Bennett at the helm, they'll win in 3 years. I'm making the call. They can win in 3 years.
All right. We'll hold
Massive call, but I think you're on the money because of the fact that Bennett is the one that's building this team.
100%.
I think when you bring in a new team, that was the problem with the Titans. When they brought them in, wasn't much power behind it, like to help them become a quality side. Redcliffe's not going to spend 10 years struggling like the Titans have.
Yeah.
They're going to come in red hot.
Yeah, that's what Xanders was about as well, because he knew that the Titans struggled for a couple of years before they gained a bit of momentum. So he goes, if anything, and we know that Wayne Bennett is not assigned to a job, he'd be the perfect one to start a club. I mean, he's been a Raider, he's been a Bronco, he's been a Knight, he's been a Dragon, he's been a Rabbitoh, now he's about to be a Dolphin, and it's exciting.
How many premierships? 9?
I think it's about 6, so he's been about 6 comps, and he's only lost 2. 6 or 7 like premierships, something like that.
7.
7 now, so 7. He's only lost 2 grand finals.
Yeah.
So that's and he lost them by 1 point against the Cowboys when he was coaching the Broncos, and lost by 2 points this year against the Panthers. So lose in 2 grand finals across 7 grand finals you've been part of by 3 points in total. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. If you won, I mean, that would have been only better. But to give him a clean slate and say he's 10 million to go build who you want, and you've just come from the Rabbitohs where you know that the Troy Mitchell's coming off contract. He's a favourite player, Cody Walker, who he's compared to being better than Wally Lewis. I mean, he's had a phenomenal year. Bringing him into the side to build the club around. Cam Munster, they're talking. I'm hearing a bit of Dylan Edwards from Panthers. If he can build the right team around and build and develop within a lot of the talent in Queensland Cup in Redcliffe, bro, we'll see in the 3 to 4, potentially 4 years, if he takes a 4th-year option, we will see a very competitive Redcliffe Dolphins side.
All right, you have to choose one player. Very quick answer. You have to choose one player to build that team around. Who are you choosing?
Harry Grant.
I've heard Harry Grant.
I'll be building Harry Grant.
Yeah.
The guy is a freak. And he's a player where you can, if you bring him into a side, like he's come from Tigers. He's only played around 30, 41 games. But the influence he had at the Tigers in his first year last year was amazing. You look at him, you think this guy's played 350 games. Another option I would have, I know he's a bit young, but I would bring him in if the option was there, Matt Burton.
Really?
Matt Burton, 100%. Just seeing what he's done at the Panthers, like you look at him, you think this guy's played like 250 games.
Yeah.
He's professional in everything he does, and he's young, and you can build a club around him and get him the players that he wants. Mate, I'm so excited. It's so good.
I'm very excited to see what happens with the Dolphins. I'm excited for this new team to come in.
The new venture, yeah, 100%.
The logo. I don't know what to say about that. The
old
logo was... Have you seen this thing?
I have, yes. It looks like from a kid's cartoon.
Everything. I keep commenting on your stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, it looks like a 9-year-old's assignment in graphic designs class.
Again, I get the whole. If you want to move on from the name, I don't agree with it, but whatever. But then you're gonna change the logo. I mean, if you don't have pride from where you've come from, you tried to build for the last 40, 50 years. Where's that pride to bring it into the comp? As if you're not gonna carry over Redcliffe and then carry over the logo and bring it straight in from there, straight into the NRL. I don't understand.
But
I'm not against the new logo, but why? What's the point?
So that's the thing. I am against the new logo. It is a white dolphin and block letters from word art, bro. It's ridiculous. It makes me like the Tigers logo.
Yeah, but the Tigers logo is a joke.
Correct. So you see what I'm saying?
I get it. I get your point. But look, that's like the baby stuff when it comes to the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
This is exciting. It's exciting because the game's growing, and it's exciting because it's not AFL.
You did a bit of a soft spot with this bloke.
Poor
guy. But look, you know what? It's good. It's an exciting time for the NRL to get another team in Brisbane.
I like the fact they got 4 up there now.
Yeah, of course, where?
Yeah, Queensland. 4 teams. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's huge. And now hopefully the Gold Coast will start being a little bit more competitive in the years to come. Cowboys have a long way to go. We'll get into that. Doing a lot of season reviews, so we'll touch about that. But Broncos start to build nicely. So it'll be good if all 4 Queensland teams are thriving. It's very good for the game.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Redcliffe included. But yeah, I'm just excited. But if you're going to build a player, that you want to start off with, you want to build them around a spine player. Like, yeah, you get your forwards later. You can get your backs. But if you're going to build it with someone, you start a club, you need a proper spine to come in. You build them around a spine. Like, if it's a half, like a Cam Munster, or if it was a bit younger, Cherry Evans.
Can we bring Benji Marshall out of retirement?
Mate, I'd love that, bro. I'd love that. I would love him to be alongside Bennett in coaching. But look, Marshall's retired. It's breaking my heart. It's stabbing to the heart. But look, yeah, exciting times. It's very good to be, amongst that. I can't wait for the jersey. The Dolphins jersey.
I hope it stays red and black.
Yeah, me too. I've seen a few concepts. of it. Not bad. It's looking all right. But yeah, I just can't wait for the one I can't wait for. As I mentioned, Bennett is a clean slate. But November 1, there's 160 odd players ready to discuss new deals.
Really?
Yeah, so some have won. And a lot of them have signed 1 year deals. Milford signed the 1 year deal knowing if I go back to Queensland, I'm going to that Redcliffe side.
100%.
I want to wait a year or see what happens. Or people will sign people young, they'll sign 12-month extensions. Just if I can go be part of this foundation club in Queensland, a lot of players will be moving home.
Just to be part of Wayne Bennett.
Mate, who says no to Wayne Bennett? It's very, very few say no to Bennett, and those few do regret it. It's exciting. It's good.
It's good, bro. It's good. And speaking of spine players, we've got Adam over here, and he's going to give us verse of the week.
Yeah, mate.
Yes. I'm very happy with that transition. I won't lie to you.
Very good. Very well played. Well played. Well played.
Adam, what's our verse of the week this week, bud?
It's a familiar one for many of us. I feel like I'm about to preach now. Ray, just cut me off if I'm going too long.
Don't you worry, champ. It's what I do best.
Romans 8:28, famous verse. We all know it. We learn it in Sunday school. But I don't know. Some people avoid these couple of chapters in Romans because they're misinterpreted by those who believe in Reformed theology.
Yep.
But when you really understand these verses...
I love the little digs he takes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Preach and keep it going.
Just to chip off the old block.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
Never forget that meeting. The elephant in the room. The elephant in the room meeting.
That's very good.
Can't put that on there.
No, we can. That's very good.
That was phenomenal. But back to the verse.
Very good.
And we know, once Ray comes to.
Yeah, keep going.
When you're ready.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. And so God, and then if you read the next verses as well, it talks about predestination in that God has a plan for each and every one of us as believers that we would be conformed to the image of his son. And I think that's a wonderful thing when we realize
100%.
in our lives that God has a plan and that even though things go wrong and, Ray's had his fair share of trials, I have, we all as Christians go through trials and difficult times, that God is working all things together for good. That's just such a comfort as a Christian. Everything that goes on in our life, God has a purpose in that.
Yeah, especially when you're going in that trial and you come across a verse like that. I think for me, when I was going through some certain things, was James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. That was kind of my go-to verse. Count it all joy, and like you said, like that comfort of Christ saying to us, He's working things out and good. Yeah, we're going through a bit of a struggle at the moment, but we're going through a bit of a patch, but it's going to work out according to his purpose, and that He'll be glorified through it all. So I think that's the most exciting part of that verse, and that's what I get, and that's what I love from that verse.
Yep, He's got it all under control, and so like that plan, we just need to get on board. That's really our part in this. God is like, this is what I want for your life. Similar to Jonah, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Then you've got the choice. Am I going to get on board with God's will for my life, or am I going to go in the opposite direction? Well, you go the opposite direction, God's like, that's fine. You're off. You're on your own.
I like that. So let me play devil's advocate then. Let's say you do come across a really hard time in life and you're coming out of that, and God reminds you, hey, I have a plan in all this. This is the go. How do I make that right choice? Practically, let's be practical here. Let's help the people at home. How do I practically make that choice to follow God's plan?
Directed to me, yeah. Well, I think part of it is simply just obeying His revealed will already. We talk about this time and time again at church. people sit down and ask God for direction in life, and they might pray, and that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with praying and asking God for direction. But most of the time, people, when looking for God's will, aren't already doing the things that He's clearly revealed to them in His Word. Like, I'll sound like a broken record here, but church attendance, reading the Bible, praying, the things that we go over and over again at church. It's,
Powerful.
it's
That's big.
important.
That's big. And I didn't even think he was going to go in that direction, but that's huge. Bro, how do you expect to be able to be in God's will and to be in His plan if you're not doing the small things right? And that's bigger than we're giving it credit for. You need to be doing what God's telling you to do now before He gives you the other stuff. Bro, like, are you showing up to church? Oh, we're not showing up to church right now. We're doing it online. Are you logging into that service? Are you showing up to that meeting? Because are you reading your Bible? Are you praying? Are you doing your daily dues that God expects of you? If not, how can you expect Him to go to the next level and reveal that next level to you or provide you with that next thing? It's huge.
Well, the plan's right here. Like, you don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Obviously, you pray and ask God for the specific leading in life. I understand that and I get that, and that's very important too. Trust in the Lord and commit your way unto Him, and He'll direct your path, etc. But God's plan for each and every believer is that, like it says here in verse 29, that we would be conformed to the image of His Son. And how do we do that? Well, the Bible's already given us advice, so we just need to get in there and find out what it is.
We need to heed to that advice.
Yeah.
It's very important that we see it and we know what to do, and then we avoid it. And then when we're into that trial and we're getting amongst it all, we find ourselves thinking, okay, well, why aren't things working out? And if we haven't gotten it right prior to that trial coming in, because our whole life we're going to face trials. It's not like you're going to do it a couple of times and goes like, all right, you've passed and you'll go through another trial again. We're going to go through our whole lives. So if we aren't getting it right before the trials come and everything's good and everything's fine and we're thanking God that, prior to any trial that comes up, and it can happen within a moment, are we getting it right then? Because if we can't get it right then, there is zero to little chance, and I had to learn this firsthand, and I'm speaking from experience, that we're going to get it right in that time. And there's going to be a lot of doubting God. There's going to be a lot of questioning God. There's going to be a lot of questioning a lot of His existence. And He's like, I've given you my word. I've given you everything you need. And in that time, it's hard because sometimes you think to yourself, I need something outside of the Bible.
Yeah.
How many times do we think that, though? How many times do we think to
100%.
ourselves, I need something, okay, yeah, we pray, yeah, whatever. But we pray.
Yeah.
We get on our knees before Christ. We bow, we read our Bible because that's what's going to get us through that trial.
Correct.
If we're not reading His word daily, if we're not getting part of it, like if we're not adapting into our lives, what's the point?
100%. And it's one of the biggest questions any young adult especially asks. How do I know what God's will is for my life? How do I know God's plan? Well, He will reveal it to you, but you've got to do your part. He wants to show you. That's the beautiful thing about God, is He does want it to be a secret. He's not trying to hide something from you.
You have to seek it.
You want to know what God's will is for your life? You want to do God's plan for your life? Well, do what He's asking you to do right now. That's our challenge. That's our challenge for this week. It's very simple. Do what God expects. And we keep coming back to it, bro. It's the basics of Christianity. Do the basic stuff first. Get that basic stuff done. And then the rest will follow.
Yeah.
I find, going off what you just said, that oftentimes when we find ourselves in a difficult situation, we have those doubts. We have unrealistic expectations of what God should be doing for us.
Yeah.
And we get disappointed in life when, our plans that we think God should just approve don't come to pass. And we get disappointed. But, like we know through Isaiah, that God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts, etc.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes that which we think, the path that we should be on is not the path that God wants us on. And I was just reading a book that a friend from Tamworth recommended to me by Elizabeth Elliot. And she talks about Jim, we all know Jim Elliot, his life and how he went as a missionary into South America. But she talks openly and honestly about his life and the struggles that he went through. And, to the average person that just looks at his life, he died.
Yeah.
He was at his prime, going as a missionary, and yet he gets speared. You know, is God working all things together for good? Well, if we're coming from a human perspective,
No chance.
Like, look at all the good that he could have done.
Yeah.
But God's ways are not our ways. And so God has that plan.
Yeah.
And really, we need to just get on board with that. And you know what? Elizabeth, she got on board with God's plan and she realized that he was working all things together for good. And, you know, she goes in there after him and many people get saved and come to Christ.
That's the hard part, is getting on board with God's plan when it's not going the way we expect.
Having the faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because, bro, no one on the planet would have thought she would have done the wrong thing by going home and mourning her husband. And that was it. Trying to go live a normal life. I promise you, not one person would have thought, what is she doing? Everyone would have said, yeah, that was the right thing to do. But instead, she goes, nah, I'm going to go finish what he started. And that was her allowing God's plan, as hard as it was, to work out the right way. So, ladies and gents, that is a great verse of the week. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Very good.
Hey, make sure you're in God's will. Do the small things first, and the rest will follow through. So that's another episode, bro.
Another one. Another one done.
Another one down the hatchet, like you like to say.
Another one down the hey diddle diddle is what I like to say.
The hey
Hey
diddle
diddle
diddle.
diddle.
There you
It's
go.
good.
Well, ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining us on Have a Chat with Ray and Stat. Adam, where can the people find you at home? No, not like your address, like
Social media.
Instagram, Facebook,
Oh,
all that stuff.
yeah, I'm good.
Anyone just see the fear that come down his face? Like, why do people know my address?
What am I going to do?
No, I'm just thinking I'm not sure which address I should provide.
We've got like 6-7 houses abroad.
The Tamworth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all the...
Just Adam Reeve.
Yeah.
Just Adam Reeve. He'll be in the description as per usual, ladies and gents. Bro, thanks for jumping on with us, man.
No worries.
Good
mate.
everyone, bro. Very good.
Mate.
Thank you.
Ladies and gents, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Hey, we appreciate it so much more than you'd probably realize. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel, like the pages on Facebook, Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. Do all that fun stuff.
I'm
let's
not on
gr-
TikTok.
No, neither am I.
Yeah,
That's
okay, right.
Yeah,
the first time we got on there.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry
Well,
about
ladies and gents, thank you. Share this video around. Get more people onto it. I'm Ray. That's Stat. That's Adam. Thanks for having a chat.
that. See you guys.
See you.
Stato.